This is a public service announcement for anyone who owns the Smooth 4 or anyone who's been holding off buying the Smooth 4 for varying compatibility reasons. Here it is. The Smooth 4 is now completely compatible with FilMiC Pro, i.e. the best filming app on any mobile platform. Yay! So why is this such a good idea? Well, the ZHIYUN-TECH app, the Zhiyun app to control the Smooth 4, is very feature rich and very cool, but on some phones, certain phones, there are a few features missing because of compatibility issues. And it's not just Zhiyun that suffer from this. You know, if you think how many phones there are and how many different variations there are always going to be some people who miss out on certain features, and that's a shame. But FilMiC Pro, on the other hand, is compatible with both iPhone and Android, so you won't miss out on any of the good stuff. Here are my favourite things about the combination. First of all, pairing the Smooth 4 with the FilMiC Pro app is ridiculous. It's basically instantaneous. You just go into the app, find hardware, press connect, and you're done. Well fast, even faster than the official Zhiyun app. Of course, the zoom and the focus wheel is completely compatible with FilMiC Pro, which is great, and all of the hardware buttons are not only compatible, but utilised in very cool ways. So theoretically, you could film an entire sequence or film for an entire day and not have to touch the screen once. It could all be completely tactile on the gimbal, and there isn't a combination quite like this in the market anywhere. There are three main shooting modes within FilMiC Pro, and they allow you to have complete control over how you want the film to come out. The automatic mode I would completely skip. The reason being is in automatic mode you don't lock your exposure or focus. So if you're filming something and the lighting changes, it will change mid-take and look pants. Luckily, the other two modes get around that wonderfully, and it's sort of tiered depending on how advanced you want to go. The middle mode is the one that I use the most. You have the ability to lock exposure and focus. So when you're setting up your shot, you can just sort of either press on the smart buttons on the Smooth 4 or on the screen to lock your exposure and lock your focus. That way when you start moving throughout the scene, none of that changes and it looks much more professional and you're in control of what's going on. If you wanted to take it a step further, there is a full manual mode, and using this mode you can use the dial on the Smooth 4 to control shutter speed and the focus wheel to control your focus. So if you wanted to adhere completely to the 180-degree shutter rule when you film in to get the right sort of motion blur to make it look more cinematic, you can dial in exactly the shutter speed that you require. And that's so cool to have on a phone. Do you not think that's well cool to have on a phone? Might be completely unnecessary for 80% of the users, and I don't bother very often, to be honest. But if you're making a short film, or if you're doing something that you want to look perfect, you have complete control over your shutter speed with FilMiC Pro. One of the main issues from Android users was the ZHIYUN-TECH app wouldn't allow you to shoot in 4K. FilMiC Pro does on Android. I'm using the Note 8 and I can shoot up to 4K 30 frames a second. So no more missing out on 4K if you don't have an iPhone. Two more features that really make you feel like you're using a camera as opposed to a smartphone are focus peaking and zebraing. And if you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, you're probably going to be familiar with what those are. So your zebraing will show you on screen when something is overexposed, and then your focus peaking will help you figure out what you're focusing on and how sharp the image is going to be. It's a very visual, instantaneous readout on the screen. You can see exactly what's going right and what's going wrong and change things very quickly on the fly. The zoom wheel, or the focus wheel, or the vertigo wheel, the thing that most people think of when they think of the Zhiyun Smooth 4, can be used for focus or zoom. Personally, I prefer to use it for focus. I just find it a little bit more handy. So you can use the target button on the Smooth 4 itself to toggle between the two. You can also do it on screen, but if you've got a button for it, just use the button. So if you need it to zoom, press the button and you can use it to zoom, press the button again and you're back into your focus sort of settings. Another sort of unsung benefit of not having to touch the screen so much is, one, if you're in a very bright condition, you will be able to still use your screen and get the footage that you want by using things like focus peaking and zebraing to check that everything's exposed properly without having the best view of your screen. The second thing is you cut down on so many fingerprints, so you'll be able to see the screen more clearly to begin with. Now, FilMiC Pro as an app is not the cheapest app in the world. However, I own it on iPhone and Android because it's one that I just can't live without. If you are interested in mobile filmmaking at all, it's well worth the price. And when you consider how much money you would spend on desktop software, you know, it's a drop in the ocean. I think it's about 20 quid or something. So it's well worth the money, and then you have it basically for life and have all of the updates. I'm so happy that FilMiC Pro and Smooth 4 are now completely compatible, because there's less swapping and changing between different apps. As an Android user, I had to switch over to FilMiC Pro in order to shoot 4K, and then back to the ZY Play app for control of the focus wheel, for instance. But now I can do it all in FilMiC Pro. So it's a very seamless, very well sort of gelled together kind of combination. It's the best software on the market, and in my opinion, the best phone gimbal on the market as well. So if you were holding off on the Smooth 4, waiting for updates, etc., or just, you know, if you want to use more of it and get more out of your purchase, get a FilMiC Pro. You won't regret it. Just get it. It's amazing. Get it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know, and I shall see you all very soon.